Getting started with UX design, this is the only roadmap you'll ever need. Let's talk about all of the different questions that you might have right now when you're starting UX design and talk about the complete entire roadmap of getting a career in UX design. Question that too many people have is, what is UX design? UX design is user experience design, and it's about how easy and enjoyable a product is to use. Good UX makes users feel in control, makes users have a good experience and not get frustrated. A UX designer researches, tests, and improves how people interact with apps, websites, and all other sorts of software. If you want to know more about what UX is and how do you get started, the first step you can take in your UX design journey is just watch this complete video, which is the world's easiest UX design crash course of just 5.5 minutes, and you can just go through everything you need to know to get started. The second question that people have is, what are the main steps of UX design? UX design just follows a simple 5-step process. Just 5 steps, nothing outside of this 5. Number 1, research. Understand the user problem, know what's going on, do some research into what you're doing, right? Number 2, define. You have to find key pain points that the users are struggling with. So you research what the problems are, you research what the market looks like, and then you define what the problem is that you're going to solve. Number 3, ideate. Now that you know what the market is, you know what the problem is, now you have to create different ideas to solve this problem. This is just brainstorming. Number 4, prototype. Prototyping stage is when you create rough designs of the problem that you're solving with the idea that you're solving, which you figured out after all of this market research. So this is the prototyping phase. Number 5 is to test and iterate. Now when you have a prototype, a usable small thing that you can sort of show off to the people, try to work with it, see what their feedback is, now you can test and iterate every single aspect that wasn't working in your first prototype, work with it, and just improve software. And this is just the plain most process which is common in apps, websites, games, all sorts of UX design. So the first step you can do to just get started with this is pick an app, analyze a UX problem, and write 3 improvement ideas to improve it. That's just the first step in UX thinking. Question that I see way too many people ask me is, do I need to know UI design or visual design to get started with UX design? No, you do not. You do not need UI design to get UX design, but it is very advantageous when people know both. UX is more about research and testing as compared to visuals. So if you just want to do UX, that's also a completely okay option. You can focus on wireframing, research, and user testing. The first step that you can take to just get this done is practice sketching a low fidelity wireframe on paper. I have an entire series of shorts, if you've seen them before, they sort of look like this, and they are all about practicing and just sketching out low fidelity wireframes on paper. You can get started with those, started with ideas of what your website or app is going to look like, how it is going to simplify the user's flow, and that's your first step in getting started with UX design. Question number 4 that I see people asking me all the time is, what is the main tool for UX design? The main tool for UX design is by far Figma, but you can also use a couple of others, which are my personal picks that I've used all the time. You can use Notion for research, Micro for mapping, and you can also use Maze for testing. The first step that you can take to get started with all of these tools is just watch this video. It's the easiest Figma crash course of 2025 right now, and it just guides you through the entire process of getting started with Figma. You don't have to worry about any weird headaches. Just, this is the world's easiest Figma crash course in the world. Like, simplest first step. Question number 5, how do I get better at UX research? I feel like this question is something I've seen 100 different times from 100 different people, and yet the question is always the same. How do I get better at UX research? You can get better at UX research in 3 simple steps. Number 1, talk to users. Just talk to 5 different people about a single app, and then you will have an idea of how they're doing things, what challenges them. Just talk to people and just ask them the right questions. What questions, now you might be wondering? That is step number 2. Analyze bad UX yourself. Go through the app, find the pain points that you now find, ask them about your pain points. So the way you're going to get started with this conversation is get started with your pain points. Ask them what struggle they face with this app, or just start sharing your insights, and sometimes that gets really quick insights from users as well, especially in the first conversation. And number 3, look at competitors. Sometimes you will find that the insights that people give have more to do with other competitors than what the app does in itself. And that's just such a common thing, because if apps are in a market where three other apps of the similar quality and technology exist, now people have comparisons. And sometimes the biggest pain point that users will face is not that this app is bad. The pain point is this app isn't doing X at Y speed or X at this amazing performance as compared to the other apps in the market. And that's a really, really easy pain point for you to address, because now you have, as a first step, a competitor that's effectively doing X in a nice fashion, and now you don't have to just invent things right off the bat when you don't know what's what. You can take observations, you can try to implement something that this app doesn't have from a competitor, and that's your very first UX idea from all of the different stages. And now you're getting a real insight into what people think. The first thing that you can do to just effectively implement these, even if you can't interview everyone in the whole world right now, is you can write down 3 different UX problems in an app that you use every day. Even if you can't interview everyone in the world, just write 3 different problems, and that's your first step. The question that I see all the time is, how long does it take to learn UX design? Honestly, it takes different people different amounts of time, but I am not the person who just leaves you disappointed with that answer. While it's true that it takes different people different amounts of time depending on their learning speed, in the best case scenario, speediest case where you're just committing all of your time into this thing, you're doing everything you can, it takes it. And I'm just saying the speediest and the brightest scenario because we're being optimistic here. In the most efficient scenarios, you would have 1 to 2 months for learning the UX theory and UX process as a whole, and then you can take from 3 to 6 months to get real world projects, complete real world projects. Even if you don't have real world projects, just work on them even if they're hypothetical. And then in a realistic scenario, it takes 6 to 12 months to get a UX job or freelance clients. The first step that you can take to just get started in this 12-month journey is every single day commit to a 30-day challenge to yourself where you do one simple small UX design task every single day. Question number 7, what is the fastest way to build a UX design portfolio? This is a very, very common question following with the last question, because now we're trying to get things done quickly and efficiently. The fastest way to build a UX portfolio is in just 3 simple steps. Number 1, pick a bad app. Pick any app that you're using every single day, any app that you have a little bit of experience using in, have a little bit of experience sort of exploring around, and analyze and improve its UX. Just look at its UX, find the problems, either interview people or get your own problems, and just pick that app and improve its UX problems that you see right now. Step number 2, redesign just one key feature. So step 1 was getting the app and figuring out all that's wrong with it. Step 2 is just the simplest thing you can do in the whole world. Redesign one single feature. Don't do everything. I get that it gets overwhelming really, really quickly. Just do one simple feature. Just redesign it and show the complete process. This is really important. Show the actual process. Step 3, document your UX thinking. This is very, very important, especially from a case study building point of view. Whatever project it is that you're working on, whatever feature it is that you're improving, whatever app it is that you're working on, you have to show your research, you have to show your sketches, show your testing, show your work. This is really, really simple, but it becomes really important when you're actually building out a case study in the real world. Question number 8, do I need to be a coder to understand UX design? No, absolutely not. You don't need code to be a UX designer, but sometimes it just happens in experience. Understanding developers' works helps UX designers when they're designing actual experiences, and it helps us be really realistic when we're actually designing things instead of just making this weird building and it's really difficult to replicate. Understanding developers' works helps you be better as a designer. If you're just looking for the bare minimum, I do recommend having a basic understanding of HTML, CSS, doing the smallest crash course ever, not to code yourself, just to have an understanding of what developers are doing. And it's going to make your communication and your life 99% simpler when it comes to coordinating with the developer. Question 9, how do I get a UX design job with no experience? I'm glad you asked. You can get a UX design job with no experience in 3 simple steps. Step 1, create 3 case studies. Show your real world problem solving by creating 3 simple case studies. And we talked in a couple of questions right before this one how you can build out your problem solving and your case studies. You need to have 3 bare minimum case studies to show your real world problem solving ability. I do recommend the UX design communities that you have across Twitter and LinkedIn and all of the other social media platforms. And just showing off your work will help you get into the networking that you need to get your foot in the door. Step number 3, apply for junior UX jobs or internships. And this is always a very, very simple step. People ignore it, people say it isn't working, but it is working in real life. So many listings are present on the internet. As long as you're applying in the first 100 candidates, you should be fine, because in a real world scenario, sometimes small brands won't go after the 100th candidate, if that makes sense. But if you're in the first 100 to apply, there is a good chance your portfolio will be taken into consideration. So the good old applying for junior UX design jobs or internships still works. Question 10, how do I practice UX design if I don't have clients? You can do this in 3 simple steps. Step 1, redesign everyday experiences. Every single day you work with so many apps, every single day you are around so much software. Redesigning everyday problems of UX design will help you get so much better as a skill. And when you have a great skill, then sky is the limit, literally. Step 2, join UX communities. You can join the UX design community we have on our Discord group. You can join various other communities across Twitter, LinkedIn, where have you. And with these actual real life communities, you can follow case studies and prompts online. You can look at these things from Behance and Dribble and all of these super cool platforms, and you can understand how other designers build. A really important part of learning is looking at other people around you, observing and knowing what to do, when to do, how to change your course, how to do the right thing. And trends in technology are always changing. So it makes sense that you would want to be part of these communities to keep up with what's going on, to be updated, to be on the right track with your current date. Step 3, I've done this step when I was just starting out, volunteer for nonprofits. This is a really niche suggestion, and people will often say that you need to be paid for your work, which you do. But sometimes when you're just starting out, when you don't have the grandest of skills, it is really difficult to search for real world opportunities when you reach the classic catch-22 situation of no one is giving you a job because you don't have experience, and you can't have experience unless you have a job. To escape this weird mind plot hatch, the simplest thing you can do is just volunteer for nonprofits, help real users for free, build your portfolio out, or just build out hypothetical situations. But I do recommend the nonprofit route, not because I'm being philanthropic at this point, but because in a real world scenario, you will have so much more understanding of how the world works as compared to being in your own bubble and just building out 3 hypothetical things, right? So build out your own portfolio as well through free and non-profit work, and it will help you, and it will help the person that you're helping, and it sort of will build out your portfolio and set yourself up for success.